Hello, beautiful souls. So usually I get a little bit more information about a situation prior to starting one of these recordings. But for this reading, there was mainly just one spoken line that kept resounding in my mind. And the line was, "She haunts me." Because that word "she" is there, I'm feeling that for the most part, this is going to be connecting for divine feminines listening. Although, of course, the labels divine feminine and divine masculine are to describe energy dynamics. So they aren't necessarily related to gender or anything like that. We all have a balance internally of both as well. I just got a very strong hit that this is going to be mainly for a group of divine feminines. And of course, as with all of these readings, I really recommend using your intuition. Lately, the readings have been getting really specific. I've been picking up on a couple very hyper-specific different threads of energy. So of course, at the end of the day, your intuition really is your highest guide, both through life and through these reading videos. This reminds me of something else that I journaled that I didn't even think was going to come up here today, but it feels relevant. And if you hear me flipping pages, I'm just flipping through my notes, which I took during my meditation to be able to kind of use these as anchor points for what's coming through. But what I wrote down is, knowing what to take and what to leave. And I heard that this could be in terms of advice, not just in terms of like messages, but from advice coming from anyone. Knowing what to take and what to leave is equally valuable. The space between, almost like the empty spaces, like what you leave, creates a rhythm. Now, for some of you, I'm hearing knowing when to leave. So maybe you left a situation or you left a connection, and knowing when to stay or when to communicate or when to make your presence known and when to pull back or when to leave was equally important. Because I'm getting something about a silence being loud, which takes me into, of course, this statement, "She haunts me," where I'm picking up on a masculine energy that is on a timeline you ascended out of, is what I'm getting here. And I'm hearing someone say, "Come with me," almost like a feminine reaching out her hand saying, "Come with me to this timeline." And I'm hearing a masculine pretending that they didn't even see it, but they noticed the offer. And I'm getting that their lack of communication or their lack of action was the answer. It's almost like this masculine believed that they could buy time if they didn't take action or didn't communicate or kind of pulled back some of their energy a bit. They believed that they could push this further down the line, but they didn't realize that you were in the process of really vibrating out of their reality, in a sense, ascending out of whatever timeline they're in. And they had this choice point opportunity about whether they were going to go with you. And it's almost like they didn't outright say no. They were just silent or they were just inactive. And that was the answer. And I'm sensing this sadness or this disappointment from you in leaving behind this person, but also this recognition that somehow it came down to either choosing yourself, your dignity, your highest truth, or choosing to stay more physically connected with that other person, at least for the time being. And ultimately, I'm hearing you chose yourself and it naturally disconnected the two of you. I almost feel like in many cases, I mean, of course, this will somewhat depend on your personal circumstances and your personal situation, but I am getting that in many cases, you didn't necessarily stop communicating with this person or let go of them or anything like that. It was more like your soul knew that by choosing yourself, it was ultimately going to disconnect the two of you in some way, and you turned out to be right. But it's more of a frequency thing. It's more like you chose your own path. You chose to stay focused fully on yourself. It's like your energy right now, by the way, it's really beautiful because in a general sense, for this collective I'm speaking to here of divine feminines, you are emanating this powerful frequency that seems to say, If it's not aligned, I don't want it. Of course, that's not always an easy thing to say, especially when it comes to someone that you consciously do desire or do want to speak to or connect with. But I feel like you value your truth and keeping yourself in alignment with your personal highest timeline, even above those connections that you do crave or desire. And that's a beautiful act of self-love, to value your frequency and your energy and your highest path over how other people choose to respond or not respond to you. Because the thing I'm really getting with this person is a lot of this disconnect actually happened through their lack of communication or their inaction. This actually reminds me, well, I don't really want to give away too much, but a lyric that I was working on, I haven't fully worked through it yet. You guys know I'm starting to release channeled lyrics through my music project, Songs by Infinity, which this project is now streaming its first song across streaming platforms. The first song is called Go On to New York. I know I've been sharing it in recent videos, but I just wanted to mention that again here in case you are new. I'm really excited to start sharing channeled messages, stories, songs, pieces of information that come through these reading videos, but in a musical form, in a different kind of form. So you can check out my first song on Spotify, and I'll leave a link to my Spotify in the description box. Also, if you want to follow me on Spotify, you will get updated when I post my next song. You will be the very first to know and to see it on Spotify and get to listen to it. So I would love for you to follow me there if you feel guided to do so. I'm so excited about that project. But anyway, a lyric that I was working on that came to me is, "You're the one who ghosted me, but I'm the one who's haunting you." And what I was picking up is that you may feel as though you've been ghosted or abandoned by this person, even though on a spiritual level, you know that actually you've just ascended kind of out of their timeline. You know that it's ironic because actually I feel like you have this experience a lot where by choosing yourself, it's almost this act of rebellion. It's this difficult act, choosing yourself, choosing your truth, choosing to stay authentic. It's not even that you're doing anything dismissive or doing anything that creates conflict with the other person. You're just staying aligned with yourself and they're reacting to that frequency. So your frequency is actually higher, and yet they may be the ones, I'm hearing saving face. It's almost like they can sense you vibrating up out of their timeline, and they know that through their own inaction or their own lack of communication, they made their choice not to go with you there. And instead of acknowledging that consciously to themselves or to you, they save face by being the one to cut things off or to disconnect from you or to stop communicating or to ghost you or whatever the case is. But in truth, it's like they're the ones still longing for you or holding on energetically. You're the one who vibrated up out of their timeline. You're the one who's thriving, who's really connected with your own truth in your highest timeline. But it's like this other person or this other energy. And I get, again, this could be a pattern in your life, in your friendships, in your love life, where it's almost like they want to save face by being able to tell people that they were the one to cut things off or to stop communicating, but they know the truth deep down. And there's still this longing. I'm getting it's almost like you, yes, can experience the sadness and the rejection of that. And you heal from it. When things happen to you, you're so deeply self-aware and connected to your spirit that when your spirit is wounded, yes, it hurts, but you heal it right away. You address it, you look at it, you face it. The thing about this person is they repress it. They hold it back. They let it kind of simmer. And so initially it may have looked like they were unaffected by this disconnect and you were hurting. And I'm hearing something about speaking your truth. Maybe you even reached out to this person and spoke your truth. I feel like you may have expressed what you were feeling or told them something meaningful that came from the heart. But this person, it's almost like they even took that and didn't respond to it or didn't let it fully sink in, because then they themselves would have had to face how their spirit was feeling wounded, how they were feeling your loss, feeling your absence, missing you. And they didn't want to have to face that. So they bypassed it by almost like rewriting the external narrative. And part of how they were able to do that is, again, possibly by telling other people or just telling themselves, well, I was the one who disconnected, or I was the one that cut things off. But in truth, they know deep down that you were calling them to a higher timeline that they weren't ready to go to yet. And I'm getting that. I keep hearing, when I heard that phrase, she haunts me, I swear I felt that this was a masculine saying that out loud to one other person. Not a lot of people, but maybe one very close confidant in their life. So this could be a friend, a family member, maybe just like speaking it aloud to themselves. There's something about that actually being verbalized in a concrete way, in a way that now it's like, everything they've been repressing, telling themselves they didn't feel, telling themselves they didn't care about, it's all coming out in this one statement, she haunts me, whether they're saying that again, just out loud to themselves and just like locking in that realization, like, wow, this is still haunting me. This is still following me around energetically. I'm still longing for her or for this. Or whether, and again, in many cases, I feel they said this to another person. I keep getting like another masculine energy. So this could be a very good friend of theirs who also carries a masculine energy. This could be a family member. I heard an uncle for someone. I don't know why. I feel this could be a trusted family member, a friend, or again, maybe just themselves, like in the mirror, they said this to themselves. But I feel like the moment those words left their lips, and I do feel so strongly that they said this, I don't often say this in readings because much of what comes through can be symbolic. It can connect with you in very unique kind of abstract ways that are personal to you. But I just feel with such certainty that if you are really resonating with this specific thread of the collective, I so strongly feel that those words left their lips. She haunts me, or he haunts me if you are a divine feminine who is in a male form. In either case, I feel like they haunt me, like in some form, those words were said, whether they said it to themselves out loud or whether they said it to another person. And I'm also hearing, and I don't know what to do about it, but the truth is their soul does know what to do about it. Now, I haven't been pulling cards for the last couple readings because I've had so many notes that have been channeled through in my meditation that we just haven't gotten around to the cards. But I felt that this reading, we were going to specifically delve into some of the energy oracle decks and the traditional tarot decks and pull through some even more specific messages from this person's spirit. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle to get into that. While I'm shuffling, I also want to recommend to you my subliminals called Love, Magnetism, and Quantum Connection, because if you are connecting with this reading and this energy, these subliminals will really help you to stay clear, grounded, high vibrational in your personal power. And also, if you do desire to either just manifest your highest timeline in love, to manifest love, positive support, positive attention into your life romantically or otherwise, and or if you'd like to actually manifest specific movement forward from this person, in either case, regardless of your intentions, these will be really powerful subliminals for that. Quantum Connection is more of a recent one I created, and it puts you in the perfect position in the quantum realm energetically to be open and receptive and aligned with the people, the things, the opportunities, the soul connections that are deeply in resonance and harmony with your soul. And the Love Magnetism Subliminal is pretty self-explanatory, but it will really help you to feel deeply magnetic through all 7 chakra centers in your energy body for love, for support, for amazing opportunities and people entering your life. And all of these subliminals I've created in my app, Sound and Soulful, work with your subconscious mind. They contain affirmations designed to bypass the conscious filter of the mind, making deeper, more lasting impressions on the subconscious, which is so powerful because research shows it's our subconscious that controls 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes in life. So by shifting what's happening in the subconscious, we can completely rewire our mind and magnetize our energy for our desires. Personally, I've seen more powerful results using subliminals than any other manifestation technique I've tried. I still use them every single day, and that's why I'm so passionate about sharing them with all of you. So when you do click the link in the pinned comment and description box and get the app, you can create your own playlist with my subliminals. You can listen in 10 different background sound options. And of course, you can read the affirmations in each track while you're listening. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and get started with the 10 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. So what I'm getting here right away, the 10 of Swords, I'm hearing someone had to fully walk something out, I wanted to say like defeat themselves. I'm getting that you could see a pathway that this person was going down, this masculine, and you could see that it was leading negative directions for them, whether it was a relationship, a lifestyle. There was a stubbornness in this masculine's energy where they needed to see something negative all the way through. It's like they had to follow it all the way down to hit some kind of rock bottom. And I feel like if you're listening to this reading, they are there with the 10 of Swords. Like they have fully played something out. They're realizing they've hit some kind of rock bottom. They're realizing that something has to end, some kind of change has to take place. And that's causing them to look up. With the Wheel of Fortune card, it's almost like, oddly, being at rock bottom has entirely shifted their perspective. It's forcing them to look up and see things from a higher perspective. It's almost like something truly has reached its dead end. Something has fully played itself all the way out in the ways that you predicted that it would. And now this masculine is in like this still state, like at that rock bottom, forced to face themselves and finally connecting with a higher truth that you seemingly saw all along. And I'm hearing when they look up, they see the Empress being representative of your energy. I'm hearing wondering how you are. It's almost like this person may have even repressed thoughts about you as simple as what are you doing? Where are you? How are you? It may have seemed like this person actually was like completely disinterested in you. And it's because they internally were repressing those thoughts, even the simplest thoughts about you. It's not that they lost all care for you on a spiritual level. It's that they knew that even touching the surface of those thoughts about you would bring them all the way in. And so they were avoiding it altogether. But now I'm hearing they're wondering how you are, and they're wondering what you're up to. And with the King of Wands reversed, this is how they're seeing themselves. They feel powerless. They don't know what to do here. They feel like I'm hearing they feel like you have fully moved on from them or forgotten about them, even though they knew initially that you were hurting. I feel like you expressed some kind of truth to them. They knew that you had strong feelings for them and that you were hurting by the disconnect. They knew that at the time, but I feel like you picked yourself up after expressing your truth and you began healing and growing and expanding. And now you are at this point of strength where, yes, for some of you listening, maybe you do no longer have any feelings for this person or want to connect with them. That's completely up to you. For others of you, even if you still have some of those feelings, I do sense that they're different from how you felt before. They may be less in intensity, and maybe that you're still wondering about this person, which is why you may have clicked on this video, or you're sensing psychically that they're at this rock bottom because you are very in tune psychically. So most likely you're sensing what this person is going through. And yet at the same time, you may be unsure whether you want to reconnect with this person. Again, that's up to you. But with the Chariot card here in the upright position, I feel like it's ironic, but this person reaching this rock bottom, reaching this point of feeling completely powerless, is actually pushing them to make a change. I'm getting the word self-discipline. I feel like this masculine is like using their willpower to make positive forward-moving changes in themselves that maybe in their life generally as well, that they would not have made if they hadn't hit this rock bottom. With the Seven of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, I feel that they are now, I'm hearing, why didn't I realize it before? They're realizing something and they're thinking, why didn't I realize this before? It was almost like they're almost like beating themselves up because with the moon card, they feel like something has now been unveiled to them that they should have known all along, that was kind of there subconsciously, but they weren't fully realizing it. And we're going to get into what that is because I know we're speaking in kind of vague terms here. But with the Seven of Cups, I feel like this is you opening up to your life, maybe having, I'm hearing you could have anyone you want is like what this masculine is thinking. Maybe that's like romantically, or maybe they're just speaking to your manifestation power. Like you can really manifest the things that you want in your life. I'm getting that you're being presented right now with a lot of opportunities in some sense. This may be in your work, in your career, in your life. Many different pathways are being presented to you. Offers are coming to you. Again, this doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be for some of you listening. And even if this masculine isn't fully consciously aware of those offers, like they don't know what they are, they're sensing that shift in you in the quantum realm because you are still energetically bonded in some way. They're sensing that you are extremely magnetic and confident at this time with the Queen of Wands, and that because of that, you are attracting in a lot of these offers, opportunities, and different potential pathways in your life. And they're feeling with the Four of Pentacles left out of that. There's almost like this desire to reinsert themselves in your life, this desire to be part of your life in a strong way, or like to put their offer on the table here. But they feel like they're approaching a high priestess. Yeah, you are the high priestess here. You are, I'm hearing, intimidatingly intuitive. You have this essence about you that is revered as deeply sacred, that makes you naturally intimidating, not in a negative way, but in a way that people these days are very cautious about how they approach you, how they enter your life, if they are at all spiritually aware or spiritually in tune, because they can sense the divine protection around you. They can sense the high frequency energy around you. And I'm hearing like this person now knows what they're dealing with. Like, maybe that's the truth they didn't realize. Like they didn't realize you were the high priestess and the Queen of Wands. They didn't realize just how powerful and magnetic and intuitive you really are. But now it's like the rest of the world is really realizing that consciously you're being presented with these opportunities, with new connections in your life. If this isn't yet coming in, this could be coming in for you very soon. And it's like, I've said this in prior readings, especially for you, Divine Feminine, but it's almost like you're being unveiled to the world. Like the world is coming into a knowledge of who you are when deep down you've known all along. You've always known your energy is rare and sacred. You've always known that deep within yourself. You've always felt that there's something very different about you and about your energy. But now the world is catching up with that knowing that you always had about yourself. You're being unveiled to the world, and specifically in this connection, you're being unveiled to this masculine subconsciously. And I'm getting that something about that knowing is like awakening them in and of itself with the Sun card. It's actually making them want to stretch and expand themselves to be better in a sense, to match you on your level in some way. Can I get any more information about how this masculine may be moving forward here? I'm hearing it's not going away. Yeah, they're realizing that these feelings for you are not going away. Another line that I wrote in my journal that seems to be coming up here is, let me flip to it, but they are now realizing that your energy is unforgettable. Maybe that's what's hitting them right now. It's like they can't believe they didn't realize before just how unforgettable you were going to be to them. I also got the phrase, no response is necessary if it isn't needed. And I was trying to unpack this. I feel as though maybe you've chosen to not respond to this person if they did reach out, or maybe if they do reach out, you may choose not to respond to them. Of course, that's entirely up to you. But I'm also getting that no response is necessary if it isn't needed. I feel like this speaks about how a lot of people are reaching for you energetically. A lot of people are vying for your time, your energy, your attention, like asking for some kind of response or some kind of reaction from you. And I almost feel like you are not considering responses that are not coming directly. Interesting. It's almost like if someone is trying to get a response out of you psychically or energetically by manifesting you or sending you energy or thinking about you or hoping you'll reach out to them, you're no longer available to respond to those types of energetic requests. You sense them, you feel them, you're psychically in tune, so you know that this person has been reaching for you, but you've not been responding to that because I'm hearing you need to see more action. You need to see them make the conscious correlations here strongly enough that they come forward directly. So this is where I'm going to leave the reading for now. I do feel something is weighing very heavily on this person with the 10 of Wands. So there definitely feels like there's something that they're sensing that they have to get off their chest here. There's a bit of time urgency here as well from this person, and that's because they can see you either literally or in the astral realm in this 7 of Cups energy, and they want to get some kind of offer on the table. They want to put something across to you before you start locking in these timeline potentials or opportunities that you're being presented with, and they start to feel fully left out of your life, if that makes sense. Now, again, it's entirely up to you how you respond to this person's energy. I'm just sharing what I am picking up on here for this thread of the collective intuitively, but I do hope something here connected with you in a personal way. If so, I would love to hear from you in the comments section under this video. And if you want to keep following this thread of energy for more updates, then I recommend subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you are the first to know when I post new reading videos. If you do want to utilize my subliminals for love, magnetism, and quantum connection to shift the energy around you or in your life, specifically in your love life, then the link to get my app is in the pinned comment and description box. And if you do want to check out my brand new channeled song project, which is now streaming its first song on all platforms under the artist name Songs by 𝗫𝗫𝗀, then you can listen to the song Go On to New York on Spotify, and I will leave my Spotify link to my music in the description box as well. Otherwise, I am going to go ahead and close the reading here. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.